Boker Tov, good morning, Chodesh Tov, good Chodesh. Today is the first day of the Jewish month of Sivan, the third month of the year, which is a very critical month in the Jewish calendar because it was at this month, on the sixth day of the month, that the Jews received the Torah. In fact, today on Rosh Chodesh was the day that the Jewish people arrived at Mount Sinai to receive the Torah and prepare themselves to on Shavuot, which is the holiday that will be Sunday night and Monday. It's such a monumental time when the Jews came to the foot of Sinai, and that in fact on Passover, in the Dayenu, which we all love and sing, one of the stanzas says, Ilu kervonu lefnei har Sinai, if God would have brought us to Sinai, v'lo natan lanu the Torah, and He would have not given us the Torah, Dayenu would be enough. And the question, all the commentaries ask, the puzzling question is, what does that mean? If God would have brought us to Mount Sinai, but He would have not given us the Torah, it would have been enough? What point would it have been to come to Sinai if we didn't receive the Torah? And the Rebbe, in one of his talks, says like this: we all know that the rabbis tell us that when the Jewish people came to Mount Sinai, Vayichan Sham Yisrael neged Har, it says the Jews rested near the mountain. And the rabbis ask, why does it say it in the singular and not in the plural? Comes along the commentary Rashi and he says, because when the Jews came to Sinai, it was the one time after they left Egypt that the Jews were totally united. They were like one people with one soul. And therefore, in that merit, they merited to receive the Torah. And in fact, if you study the Talmud tells us a remarkable thing, that God gave the Torah to a nation with three fathers on the third month. And the rabbis say, what's unique about the third month? Why was the Torah given in the third month? And the rabbis say something remarkable. They say one is not really unity. What one tells you is, there's me and I, and that's it. Absoluteness, I'm the only opinion that counts, nobody else matters. That's one. Two is division. There's you and I, we each have our opinions, we each have our way, we go separate ways. But then there's three. Three is true unity. Because three doesn't say one, me and nobody else, but three says, there's me, there's you. I think one way, you think another way, but together we're going to create a third unit that's going to bring the unity of both of us together. And that's really what happened at Mount Sinai. And that's what happens in a marriage. Two people get married, and together they create a child that brings the unity of the marriage together. And that's why the Torah was given in the third month. And that's why when the Jews came to Sinai, they were totally united. Vayichan Shem Yisrael. The Jews dwelled in the singular together. And that's why the Rebbe says, we say in the stanza of Dayenu, Ilu kirvonu lefnei har Sinai. If God would have just brought us to Sinai, even if He wouldn't give us the Torah, the fact that we would have had that unity that brought the Jewish people together, Dayenu, would have been enough. I think about this as we come to the 600th day since October 7th. It's been the darkest time for the Jewish people since the Holocaust. Pain, hardship, hostages, still 58 in captivity. The world hates us more than ever. Instead of you thinking that the world would have had compassion for us after October 7th, from the moment October 7th happened, the world united against us. And here we are today. But you see, the world united against us. The hours have been dark hours. There's still 58 hostages. But we have all become October 8 Jews. We've united to defend, to make missions to Israel, to send billions of dollars in aid, to stand up on our social media, to make gatherings, to bring out speakers, to speak and to encourage the Jewish people. This is the unity of the Jewish people. I saw the story that happened in Israel last week. But this guy, Liran, who was on his motorcycle, and he's on his motorcycle and he sees on the side of the road, there's a woman that stopped and her car is sitting there. And he pulls over and he asks her what's wrong. And she says, listen, I have a flat tire and I don't know how to change it. And I'm waiting for someone to help me. So he gets out And he pulls out her spear and he helps her and he spends the 20 minutes, whatever it took, and he changes the tire. When he's ready to leave, she wants to give him some money. And he says, absolutely not. I'm not gonna take money. She says, why not? You help me. He says, listen, there have been many people that have helped me in my life to get where I am, and I'm happy to help you. If you want to pay me back, pay it forward. Be kind to someone else, and that will be the way you pay me back. She listens. She comes home that night. She goes out to a bar, and she's getting a drink, and she sees the waitress looks tired, looks sad, looks overwhelmed. She says, you know what? I'm going to pay it forward. And after she gets her drink, she tips the bartender a ridiculous amount of money, hundreds of shekels. And the bartender is shocked, and she's so excited to receive that gift. She runs home, and her husband's already sleeping, but she runs into the bedroom, and she said, Liran, look what someone just gave me, hundreds of shekels. It's going to help us out in the things we need. Yes, Liran was the same Liran who helped the woman on the side of the road and refused to take the money. And then the woman ended up in the bar tipping his wife, the bartender, with money they needed. This is the month of threes, the month of unity, of true unity of the Jewish people, of Achdus, together in the way to receive the Torah. May God hear our prayers on the 600th day since October 7th and bring the hostages home. Have a great day.